Alrighty. Well, thanks for being so patient, guys. I am live once again. I better close this door. Hope everyone is keeping well, and I hope that I am at the very least a little bit in focus. There's always something. Okay, so what I'm going to do, rather than use this camera, I'm going to use a different camera. Okay, so back to the OG. So yeah, this is the actual camera that comes with the PC itself, and it doesn't seem to have any issue with I'll just turn that music down just a teeny bit. Yeah, so it doesn't seem to have any real issue with keeping me in focus. So the basic idea behind this one was making a cartoon making the old Tin Woodsman actually. kind of interesting that the Tin Woodsman is a bit like Bender. Well, I'm trying to not draw him too much like Bender. Actually, I will turn up that music just a teeny bit. A little bit quiet in here. So this is kind of, I guess, the warm-up. Cool. All right. Yeah, it's gotten kind of warm again. Don't know why. It's been one of the most inconsistent winters, or like, I guess, cold season. So I've heard that Fallout is coming to Universal Studios or something like that for Halloween, which seems a little bit early, but you know, all things considered, doesn't surprise me. I think preparing for the holiday seasons as soon as possible is absolutely the way to go. Like me and my mates, we have a whole bunch of conventions coming up. Should be pretty fun. So we'll be doing live streams from our conventions as well. So I'll put up an announcement on social media. So if anyone wants to join in and watch us do live caricatures, yeah, that's coming up. It's crazy that the original lion costume from the old movie was made with an actual like lion pelt from an actual from an actual lion. Like, I mean, kudos for authenticity right there. Actually, I'll leave his nodes out. So they recently added some new skins to Heroes of the Storm. Like, get this, Heroes of the Storm turns 10 years old this year. It was released first in 2015. And, like, I used to play that game, like, all the time. Like, religiously. And I look back at when I just stopped playing it, just out of the blue. I gave up on it completely. And yeah, before earlier today, the last time I played it was, I think, either July or September of 2023. So that's a video game that I have not touched in the better part of 2 years, that I used to play basically as a substitute for religion. I played that game and loved it and had a great time. And like, Heroes of the Storm, like, the concept of it is great. Like, it really is. It's a really solid game. It does have its flaws. Its rules are, annoying, to say the least. In some respects, like, if you can't get the upper hand against your who you're going against, then you're pretty screwed, unfortunately. But yeah, like, it, for a while there, it was a direct competitor and a great alternative to like League of Legends and Dota 2 and all that. But then, like, it just fell off. Like, they stopped providing updates. I think the last the last thing they put on last hero they added to the game was Mei from Overwatch. And this is before Overwatch became Overwatch 2. That's how long ago it was. See, what makes Wizard of Oz so enduring and so timeless is because everything about it is steeped in metaphor. And that's what I love about the old Frank L. Baum stories or whatever. Because it's not Wizard of Oz as in Wizard of Australia or anything like that. It's more like Wizard of Oz as in the unit of measurement. As in ounce. But like as a story, it translates exceptionally well into like fantasy fiction. And yeah, the old movie. When did the old movie come out? Let me check. I think, yeah, 1939. So Wizard of Oz is damn near close to 100 years old. Far out. So you probably noticed behind me that I went out and Got some fresh lighting for the live stream. Like, I shopped around and, I saw, like, different, like, ambient light displays. And, yeah, I guess the ones from Kmart were the cheapest. And I got to tell you, I got a fair amount of value from them, so I'm pretty happy with them. So in a way, like, it's fun just to develop a style. Like, I've had this style for years. I call it quick simple. Even though it's neither quick nor is it simple, like, it absolutely requires an undersketch. Usually several months of planning as well. Like, I drew this, God, maybe 2 years ago. Around about the time I stopped playing Heroes of the Storm, and it's weird, like, sometimes you just gotta make time. In fact, most of the time you gotta make time. Like, life's about really just showing up and, also having enough money to enjoy stuff. At least that's how it's always worked for me. So you may be noticing just how much more relaxed I am. I actually went out and got a new chair. So this one swivels, it has armrest, it's fantastic. Like, believe it or not, before I got this, proper desk slash gaming chair, I was sitting on a dining room chair, which is fine, I mean, it's sturdy, it's made of wood, it's a nicely crafted piece of furniture. The problem is, you kind of want a bit of mobility, when you're sitting at a desk, particularly for a long period of time, and you sort of forget just how much, like, your body just sort of naturally fidgets. until you've been sitting for too long and you realize, oh, I actually do need to get up. I do need to move around. So yeah, that's what I do. Hello everyone who's just joined in. I'm currently working on a cartoon. Oh, what happened there? So I've also got a bit of fan art to work on as well, like in the next hour and stuff. So I hope you guys can stick around for that. It's interesting, like drawing now, in an age where everything is influenced in some way by AI. But I find, like, just the process and, like, just the little things like mistakes and stuff, I'll make up for it. Made her eyes a bit weird. Kind of got it looking a little bit like the cartoon version of Wednesday Addams. So yeah, I don't want to spend too long drawing these guys. I'll try to keep it to an hour. If I go over a bit, don't worry too much. Like, I'll be taking a break soon enough, and then we can get onto Sketch Jam. Always got to inject a little bit of work into what I do. Sketch Jam, on the other hand, is more for me to work out different creative ideas. Not sure about those eyes for Dorothy. I don't know, they kind of work. Yeah, I think I'll keep these. I'm in a sort of race against the clock. Can I get all this inking done before we hit the 1 hour mark. I can draw reasonably fast on the iPad, but because I'm such a rampant perfectionist, sometimes I have to not be quite so pedantic about the outcome. Well, I'm close. 4 minutes to go. Can I get it done? Can I get it done? I think I can. In fact, I know I can. So I'm aiming to have the book ready by July. That's when I'll be self-publishing. Putting a little bit more background. And we should be. Let's turn off the pencil line to see what we got. I just realized that Dorothy kind of resembles Greta Thunberg. Cool, I think that ought to do it. Just move this up just a teeny bit. Excellent, 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 excellent. Now I've got the color palette in here, and yep, I was able to get that done before we got to the 1 hour mark. So, yay, go me. I am going to take a short break. I'll be right back. And we'll be working on the color and something else shortly as the live stream goes on. So, yeah, just bear with me. Yeah, just had to do a bit of a wardrobe change, as it were. Let's chuck in some background. But before we do anything, let's turn down the music just a teeny bit so I can hear myself think. So to get the right shades and stuff, sometimes you just gotta sort of compare it to the background. Because what really pops against like blue and light blue and stuff is always like, you know, warm colors like red and yellow, orange in particular. Yep. So last night I was doing the gaming, and weirdly enough not getting to where I wanted to be, so I thought, you know what, let's just jump back into doing the drawing. So I saw the movie trailer for not Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore 2. I'm like, you know something? That movie probably didn't need a sequel, like, ever. I mean, it's cool that they've finally got around to making one, but again, I'm struggling to find, like, what universe like that standalone movie needed a part 2. Like, maybe it does, but from what I can see, not really. Like, I am totally willing to be proved wrong. But just from that trailer, I get the impression that, like, the kind of fire and the passion and the experimentation and the real drive to make sort of a Caddyshack movie, which is essentially what Happy Gilmore is. Like, it's just a sort of a stripped down 90s version of Caddyshack. And don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic movie. And if you go back and rewatch it, like, there's parts of it that don't really hold up. And there's, you know, just how many actors that were involved in that first movie that have since passed away. And it's like, it's kind of sad. But I mean, that happens to us all. But you sort of see just how many people involved with the original just aren't around anymore. What was that? Someone's pinging my phone. Bloody telemarketers. Like, apparently, of all the original cast of The Wizard of Oz, unlike the 1939 movie, the only person who was directly involved with the production, like as an actress, was she was a stunt double for Dorothy. So yeah, the last remaining person from that time, from that golden age of cinema, where black and white gave way to color, is a woman who was essentially paid to be Judy Garland being hurt or potentially, catching on fire. Like, there's a really interesting old sort of Warner Brothers cartoon, like the Bugs Bunny cartoons, and it features like all these Hollywood celebrities from the golden age of movies, and literally all of them are now dead. And except for like maybe a handful of like very recognizable faces, most of them are lost to history. Like, you'd have to either be from that age, or you would have to be like at least somewhat familiar with like old timey sort of 1940s, 1950s movies to recognize really any of them. And they're all long gone now, like the Marx Brothers and what's his name? Clark Gable, Betty Davis, Humphrey Bogart, or is it Bogart? Whatever. Yeah, it's just kind of strange, Like, just how unrecognizable the world's most, at the time, recognizable faces were, and how quickly they just sort of become lost to history. And it reminds me a bit of the movie Coco, which sort of it plays into the idea that that one day your name will be spoken by someone for the last time. And that's a very sobering, very grounding thought. Like, and I think that's kind of what the whole idea behind, you know, keeping a journal, making a recording, just doing something to immortalize yourself. That, you know, people in the future will one day just look back at and go, wow, that guy said some stuff and some things. I don't know, maybe there's just... I also think that, like, because everything's, like, digital now, we kind of all exist in some capacity on a server that most of us will never see. That's the other thing about, like, you know, being sort of like an online personality, as it were. That interesting scene in the movie Coco where, like, that one skeleton, his memory's being kept alive by, like, say, one sort of random relative that he still has. And when that person forgets him, like, he dies a second death, which is crazy. Like, you can actually leave limbo. I guess where all the Day of the Dead characters go is sort of like a purgatory, I guess. Like the fact that they've got this whole like skeleton economy. It's very Grim Fandango. And I think that particular trope of, like, the afterlife and what it would be like as just as a thought experiment, I think we just find fascinating and kind of close to irresistible in terms of, you know, how we perceive, like, time, life, aging, death, all that kind of stuff. Of course, the yellow brick road. Give me a minute, guys. Just taking care of something. Just taking care of business. So I loosely based Scarecrow off Scarecrow from the Batman animated series, with my own, embellishments. I can get this one done pretty much in record time by the looks of it. Actually, I'll make his overalls blue. It's interesting as well because Wizard of Oz is like the world's most famous and most well-known live-action remake. Like, it's weird when you think about it, but yeah, the Wizard of Oz is actually a legit live-action remake of a book, obviously, but yeah, it's like when you sort of zoom out and you just notice, let me check. Yeah. My music's too low. So the way I'm drawing this one, I'm just very mindful of how the pattern actually looks, because there was this Australian produced cartoon, like animated series, and it had one of the most ugly character designs I've ever seen. Like, there was no sort of make sure the phone's got enough juice. So yeah, this show came out. Let me check. So Croc-a-Doo came out in 1996, and there was this one character, and he was like one of the main characters. He was sort of like a recurring bad guy, and it would have been fine if the pattern on his shirt and pants didn't follow him everywhere. Like, it was an interesting sort of visual gag, and, you know, it kind of worked, but after a while, it just got distracting to look at. Like, a lot of that stuff that I grew up with is now like 30 years in the rearview mirror. Like, seriously, the 90s have become the new 70s. And they're just aging in real time. It's like one day you're just hanging out without a care in the world. Next thing you're on a group chat with a bunch of your old high school friends, and everyone's sort of trying to figure out if we can or cannot, you know, all meet up in some capacity for the 25-year anniversary of our graduation. And I'm like, excuse me, it's really been 25 years already? Like, no, that's, no. I mean, granted, I don't go to, like, school reunions or anything like that. But it's weird, because, like, you know, part of me is sort of like morbidly curious. Like, what's everybody doing? Who's still alive? Who's still married? Who's divorced? Who still has a full head of hair? You know, just little things like that. But the thing is, because of social media, like, pretty much all of those questions are pretty much answered. So a lot of it just sort of seems redundant. Kind of getting a little bit, excuse me, kind of getting a little bit lost in the process here. But yeah, essentially, this is what I'm working on. Like, these are my cartoons. So, you know. Essentially, like, I'm putting together a book. Like, some of these are like pop culture, some of them are a bit more esoteric. Like, this one kind of appeals to the Australian in me. It's Anubis talking to Thoth, the Egyptian god of wisdom. And he's depicted as what's the name of the animal? As an ibis, or sacred ibis, and back in like ancient Egypt, the ibis was supposed to represent wisdom and stuff. But in Australia, we just call them bin chickens because, you know, they essentially just spend their time wandering around, raiding trash cans, as the Americans call them. Which is hilarious and gross at the same time, because like when a lot of tourists come to Australia, they sort of have this sort of impression that, like, you know, kangaroos, emus, koalas and wombats are kind of like common and plentiful and easy to spot and around people. But I've lived here pretty much my entire life, and I may have seen kangaroos probably about 20 times in my entire life. And I can just say emphatically that unless you live out in the country or in the bush, kangaroos do not live near people. I mean, granted, like, they've got plenty of, like, kangaroos are in sort of, like, plague proportions. Like, they breed really quickly and they get to, like, massive numbers to the point where they need to be culled because they have no natural predators. Like, once the big red kangaroos, you know, reach maturity, like, they're basically unstoppable. And another fun fact, kangaroos don't stop growing. Like, they just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger until they die, basically. Which is a freaky enough concept on its own, in its own right. But yeah, sort of, I find myself having to, like, every time I've you know, met and drawn and just sort of hung out with people from the US, they've like, you know, quite often they've brought up, you know, things like about kangaroos or whatever. And you know, if they live around suburbia, and they do, like, but you've got to be like living in sort of a heavy kind of bushland area. Like, the most common Australian native animals that you'll see, depending on where you live, aside from ibis, which I'm pretty sure isn't actually native. It might be native, I don't know, but like, oh, it's a funny thing because birds are sort of like their own thing, you know? Like, if you can fly here from another country, are you actually a native species? That's the interesting question. Well, we're nearly at the 2 hour mark. So yeah, once I hit 2 hours, I flip on over to the sketch jam portion. I've kind of made him a bit too grey. Brighten him up a little bit so he pops. So the metaphor of the scarecrow is he's supposed to be the farmer. And, you know, the perception of rural people has always been that they're not very smart. You know, if you're making a living off growing crops and subsistence, then you're sort of looked down upon and seen as a bit of a simpleton. That's why his song is "If I Only Had a Brain." I'm gonna put it up here. They're just sort of giving him these straw hands and straw feet. I don't know, maybe not straw feet. He looks too much like he's got sort of duck feet. Maybe I'll just save that one for later. So to give him actual shoes. I don't want to make these too detailed. I don't want to make the Emerald City too obvious either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just airbrush in some tone, sort of give it a gradient look. And while I'm at it, chuck in some clouds. How am I doing on time? Wow. I was able to sort of knock this one out in about 2 hours. That's what I like about working live as well. Because it sort of forces me in a way to sort of stay focused on the task at hand without, like, you know, constantly checking the phone. And I got a solid record of the artwork I've been producing. I think they made them ruby slippers for the movie. They're supposed to be like silver slippers in the book. Because the whole idea behind The Wizard of Oz is that, like, having silver as a reserve currency, like in lieu of gold, was kind of like Frank's message to the reader, like, you know, invest in gold, invest in precious metals. Like, if gold's not possible, then definitely the next best one is silver. So I might be going overseas again in the not too distant future. See, the thing is, we've also got a big festival coming up in mid-July. So it's going to take a fair chunk of time. But that's sort of dependent on, like, you know, announcements and stuff like that. Let's see, what percentage of battery am I at? Only 30%. Come on, Aussie. So I might not be able to get this done within the hour. Although, does appear that I am on track to get it done within the hour. Like I've only got about 3-ish minutes left. Doesn't matter if I go over time a little bit. It's all gravy. Oh, getting close. So yeah, I've got a list of famous faces that I want to get cracking on drawing. Like for me, the caricature resolution list is a decent guide, but I don't like use it. I don't like sort of complete it in the order that it's written, because I find that, like, you know, kind of cramps my style a bit. Not that I'm under like any sort of pressure to adhere to any of it, because I mean the winner of the competition doesn't actually sort of win anything, if that makes sense. Like, it's sort of like, oh, here's acknowledgement that you won. It's like, oh, cool, thank you. What do I get? It's like, well, nothing. Just sort of, you know, unanimous proof that you're somewhat better than everybody else at this task that a certain amount of people competed in. I saw this other thing about, you know, winning prizes and awards and award shows, and how they're sort of specifically built as sort of elaborate ways to launder money through bribery and stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, but at the same time, you kind of want to acknowledge like what is and it isn't like cool, I guess. And I think that's what's been changing recently. It's sort of like, maybe everyone being broke right now, or like sort of close to, is more of a priority in people's lives than, you know, pretending that caring about other people to such a degree that you end up ignoring your own is the best way to live. And it's not, you know. Oh, we've just gone over 2 hours. I was talking the entire way through it. So yeah, I wasn't able to make the strictest of cutoffs, but yeah, I'm still gonna keep on keeping on. Similar to my attitude when it comes to finishing games at 100%. Like sometimes you just gotta grind. So I've illustrated a couple of books. Where did I put it? No, I must have moved it. I did a cover for one. God, this must have been back in 2018 or something like that. It's a while ago now. The potato sack shoes. See, of the Batman villains, Scarecrow I find fascinating because like his whole jam is audio and visual hallucinations. Like if you get sprayed or injected with his, fear toxin, like all your worst nightmares and paralysis demons just come flooding out. Gotta have a stretch. Cool. And obviously Toto is kind of a dark brown. It's like Oreo colored. Sooty like an Oreo. Nice. All right. I think that is. Oh, wait a minute. A few little niggly bits that I missed. I'm pretty happy with that. I am going to take another short break. I will be right back. Anyway, guys, welcome to I guess you can call it the last part of the sketch jam. This is the actual sketch jam where I just work on some fan art stuff. So this is Calamaria or Calamaria from the game and Netflix animated series Cuphead. So I'm gonna draw her like Ariel from Little Mermaid. So I'm hoping to get some fun new poster stuff ready for the upcoming convention season. Convention season this year is going to be pretty short. There's only 3 shows that I'm booked to do. Got to remember that this character is one of the bosses from the game, so excuse me. I actually don't know if this character has ears, but I'm just going to give her some anyway. So I haven't seen the episode with Calla Maria in it, so I actually will go and when I get the opportunity, I will actually go and watch the whole series of Cuphead all the way through. That eye's a bit wonky. She still looks a bit angry. Which is fine because that's kind of what the character's supposed to be. It's weird when sort of bad guy characters kind of get adopted as de facto good characters. Like they haven't had a sort of a change of heart, or they haven't been like, you know, exonerated in any way. They haven't had a redemption arc, or really like sort of any like come to Jesus moment, as it were. Yeah, like what gets me is the character of Lotso from Toy Story 3. He's now been sort of adopted as like a cute character. Like there's no getting around it either. He's just a good guy now. So, what's her name? Cala Maria is obviously based off of Ariel in certain regards. But she's a bit chunkier than Ariel. She's a bit older. Wait a minute. Like she's an actual, like, siren. Make her arms a bit longer. It sort of leaps up out of the ocean onto a rock. Just finding some references, guys. Just getting some more references. Cool. Well, that was fun. This is the 2.5 hour mark. So, switch gears. What else is on the list? Oh yeah. Let's see if I can find them. Just gotta find some quick references. All right. So Andrew Lincoln from Walking Dead. So what you want to do with this guy is, like, he's handsome, but he's kind of elongated. So this is part of catching up on some practice of famous faces. See, I told you I would actually do some famous faces eventually. he always has this sort of kind of foppish, worried but smouldering look about him. Like his resting, basically his resting expression is I know that I'm the best looking guy in any given situation, but I'm prepared to, you know my place when a better looking gentleman enters the room. At least that's the impression I get. I think with dudes, it's kind of like an unspoken kind of thing where it's like we sort of operate under the idea that, like, if we're alone, we're usually the most good-looking person in the room. And I think that goes for everybody. The trick with a good caricature is not to overwork it too much. Even in a sketch, you don't want to overwork it too much. So I watched the whole second season of Walking Dead on a flight to Canada. And you'd be surprised just how much TV you can watch when you're a captive audience. Very long flight. Yeah, I really got into it. I thought it was a great show. The thing is, like, I've never really been a big TV guy. Like, sort of after the age of, you know, like once I was out of my 20s, like I was drifting from TV even back then, and like TV used to be my life. But there is something about, like, you know, you do just grow out of stuff. His nose is actually a bit more bulbous. Well, we're almost at the 3 hour mark. Far out. It's actually a pretty decent run for an art stream, if I do say so myself. Very productive. Gotta have a zombie in there as well. Or at the very least a walker. Put a little zombie companion next to him. It's good when you like the right level of fame. I think everyone has their ideal like exact level of fame. Like I've been thinking about this for a while now, but everyone gets the requisite amount of attention and popularity and fame that they get. Like it's sort of a like no more, no less kind of thing. And all the factors contribute to it. So I may have overworked this. It happens. No big deal. So the next one is Danai Guerrera. I think that's how you say her name. She plays Michonne. Or Michonne. Can't remember which. I like how they first depict Michonne. She's like wandering around with like two zombies that have had their arms and their teeth removed. Like they're completely unable to attack. But so long as like they're like near her, like walkers, I think they avoid her or something. I don't know. I never actually watched any of the episodes that she was in. Like I said, I only got to season 2, and then I got off the plane, and that was it after that. So yeah, as I was mentioning like way earlier, the the game Heroes of the Storm got a 10, like it got its first update in about 5 years. And honestly, like, I'd stopped playing the game in 2023. And when I jumped back on earlier this morning, it was like nothing had changed. People are still playing it. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna buy this new skin. And I'm just gonna send a message to the developers. Like, even if this is a one-off and we don't hear anything for the next 5 years, and the only update we get is the 15-year anniversary, it's better than nothing. Like, for a while there, it was my favorite game. It was legitimately my favorite game. I looked forward to, you know, jumping on and queuing and strategizing and, you know, just teaming up with a bunch of randoms with nothing else better to do on any given weekday or weeknight. And yeah, just sort of playing some Heroes of the Storm. But then it just got neglected. Like, they added Mei from Overwatch and then they proceeded to do nothing with it. Oh wow. Gone 3 hours. Yeah. That's what I like to see. Trying to make it look a little bit more serious. Give like full-on predator dreads. Predator dreads. There we go. I may need to come back and rework these when I make them full color. Very nice. Yeah, so I think that's a good, I guess, cutoff point to call it a night. So yeah, once again, guys, thank you for bearing with me and being so patient and all that fun stuff. I get the impression that I should have probably talked a little bit more, but I kind of got a bit sort of distracted and I fell into my work a bit. But it's all good. Anyway, I will be back sooner rather than later. I may do another one tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. Haven't decided. But yeah, in the meantime, I would like to thank everyone across the platforms. This includes YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. You guys are all awesome. Once again, I've been Ed, and you've been great. And yeah, that's it for me tonight. I will